What's good, guys? How y'all doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are taking some breaks from the insane amount of grind and content that 2.7 is giving us. I hope you guys are staying hydrated and taking care of yourselves. Now, the reason I took some time from my busy schedule grinding 2.7 is because I wanted to talk to y'all. Now, I really wanted to get this off my chest because I feel that even though a lot of us have been saying it, I really want to make a very specific video to talk about this, and that is the biggest problem with Wuthering Waves right now, the biggest issue that this game has, and to be honest with you, it has to be the community. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I dropped this video yesterday. 2.7 is the worst patch in history, right? Very captivating title, right? You might think I'm doom posting now. The reason I made this particular video is because, as y'all know, we have been a little disappointed with the lack of combat events over the last several patches, right? And Kuro really went out of their way to, make things better. Now, what I'm talking about is they actually decided to go out and just fix things, right? They didn't just give us no combat events. They said, okay, how about no events, right? This is what 2.7 launched with. And I just want to make sure you guys know we're on day 2. This is the day 2 login of the 2.7 update, and these are the events that we currently have in the game, right? We have the login event that we have every single patch, and then we have the character trials that we always get when new characters drop. That is absolutely it. There is nothing else going on in the game right now in terms of events, right? Now, I dropped this video, and I've had a lot of people agree with me. They were even confused. They were like, yo, is my game bugging? I'm going into the events tab and I'm honestly not seeing anything. What's going on? And I know they just changed the layout of the events. So maybe there was something placed somewhere else. Not really. The only things that we have that are brand new in terms of something to do in this patch would be 1, the story, right? And 2, the new tactical hologram, which we've been getting pretty much every patch. That's it. There is no events, there's no tic-tac-toe, there's no puzzles, there's no color matching, there is absolutely nothing. So that's why I made this video, right? I was like, listen, I'm gonna make this video and I'm gonna go out of my way and tell people how I feel regarding this particular patch, right? I don't think that for a multi-million-dollar company, they should honestly be releasing patches that look like this for 1, now 2 days, right? I think it's highly unacceptable, and anybody that's defending it, I think that you're just sucking up to Kuro, or you're actively trying to push this narrative to progressively make the game be worse. Now, you might be wondering, what are you talking about, CJ? And I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So I posted this video, and a lot of people were happy with it, but other people weren't so happy with it, right? So let's go ahead and see what they had to say, okay? Here we go. What a stupid take. Seriously. In every single patch, the first events are always some days later. There was never different. But yeah, log in after the server is up again and complain there is nothing. Call me a dick sucker, I don't care. But the take with, I support this game more than 95% of you is 100% the vibe from the brat genocide with his 7 out of 10 shit and his at least I got invited to Kurofest kind of bullshit. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The reason he's saying this particular comment is because of this. I have this pinned comment. You call me a doom poster, I call you a dick sucker. Some call me a realist, I call them base. Take the story out and there's nothing else. I love and support this game more than 95% of you, so don't start with the BS about me wanting to doom post the game. Our expectations were low, but this is even worse. We were complaining about combat events, now there is no events. If you defend this, you get no play or get pegged for fun. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The whole I love and support this game more than 95% of you comes from the simple fact that I actually stream this game for hours because I love playing the game. I love exploring. I love building my characters. I make videos, streams, shorts, all promoting Wuwa. Sometimes I call them out on things they do wrong. Sometimes I praise how good their game is, but I promote their game, right? On top of that, I spent a lot of money in the game, giving money to Kuro, right, in hopes that little by little, the game will continue to get better. In many aspects it has, in others it's kind of been lacking. That's just the reality of it, right? And even though I do that, even though I make all these videos, I make all these streams, I give them tons of money, People still want to say I don't care about the game. I'm just a Doom poster. I want the game to die, right? They still call me those things despite all of that. They say that they care about the games, right? That I'm not a real fan if I criticize them about anything. They've actively said that to me. So I put that comment there to let people know that I particularly do so much for this game because I love the game. Not just, oh, I'm a whale, I spend money, but I make videos, shorts, I drive a community about this. And people still have the audacity to call me out as someone that doesn't care about the game, is just doom posting and wants the game to die. Those same people that probably don't even spend $5 to try to, you know, put a little bit of a coin into making the game better, I suppose. Those same people that log in for 4 minutes, get off, and then go play other games. The same people that don't ever do any posts, don't do videos, don't interact with the game, don't do anything whatsoever apart from simply consuming their product. And they want to say I'm the one that doesn't care about the game, right? So moving on back to the video, right? We have this comment right here, right? The one that's saying that, oh, it's always been like this. The first events always come day later, right? We move on from that. To be fair, there's never really any events day one of a patch, like period. Any events, right? Even the 2.6 tower defense event were like a week in after the patch, right? There's never really any events day one of a patch, like period, right? That's two people now saying that every single patch, the first events are someday later. There's never any events when a new patch launches. But let's move on. Events start after this has always been the layout. This patch also has events. I just want to ask you, where are the events that this patch has? I don't see them. Now, we don't gotta be dumb. Yes, of course we're getting events. We're getting the photography event and we're getting the Vampire Survivors event. We know. We saw the dev stream. Where are they? You're telling me that just because we're getting an event in 4, 5, 6 days, this is acceptable for y'all? Oh, but I have a job. I have 3 kids, 2 wives, a cat, a dog, and a cow. I cannot bother with doing content for more than 2 minutes a day. What does that have to do with the reality of it that there are no events right now? You call this an event? Okay, we have 1 event. Okay, cool. I'll give that to you. We have a login event. Congratulations. Awesome. There is nothing right now. It don't matter if in 5, 10 days they drop another event. Right now, for the launch of the finale of the 2.0 arc, this whole saga that we've been through, this is what we're looking at. To me, that's unacceptable from a company earning millions upon millions of dollars every single month, right? Let's move on over to the next one. So you complain that there are no combat events for a story-driven game. If you're just going to complain, don't play the game. Not every game has to have combat events, and this video is so disrespectful. Bro, I'm not complaining about no combat events. I'm complaining about no events. You see the difference there, buddy? No combat events, no events at all. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know where you got the combat events. That was my last videos. Right now, we talking about no events. We got a login event. Wow. Much excitement, such adrenaline, right? That's all we got. We don't even have tic-tac-toe at this point. Shit, I'll take tic-tac-toe, color matching, puzzles, hamster on a wheel right now. There is nothing. I would have still been salty about it, but it's like we saw the 2.7 dev stream. We knew what was coming. We had low expectations. And somehow, some way, they delivered even less than our lower expectations. How does that even work? How do they even manage to do that? That takes some advanced level of critical thinking from Kuro to actually deliver less than our lowest possible expectations. Let's move on. To be honest, every patch was dry as shit. And to be fair, we had much worse in other patches in terms of the amount of content and content quality. Okay, listen. I want to do this challenge for everybody that's watching this video. If you can actively point me to a patch that launched, and launch day or the second day of the patch being live, we had a login event, just a login event, I'll give you $100. If you can point me to a patch that had just a login event, and he's saying much worse, how do you get much worse than just a login event in the amount of content? How do you even get lower than just a login event? But hey, listen, if you guys can point me to a patch that has worst content in terms of the amount of content, right? That's what this person said, right? And to be fair, we had much worse in other patches in terms of the amount of content and content quality. Listen, if you can point me to a patch that has worst amount of content than this, I'll give you guys $100. Let's stop talking. You stop talking, I'll stop talking. Just put your money where your mouth is. That's simple. Show me a patch that has worst amount of content than this. We have a story. Every patch pretty much has a story, right? A new little map area. Pretty much almost every patch has that. And a new hologram. Almost every patch has that nowadays. And then a login event. One login event. Hey, yo, feel free to show me that and I'll give you $100, bro. Let's stop yapping. Let's put our money where our mouth is. And that's it. There's not much to say regarding that, right? Let's move on to the next comment, right? Events are coming later. For first few days are dry. Yes, we know that the events are coming. You know, Vampire Survivors, the photography event. The point is, where are they now, right? At least one, at least something, bro. Like, they could rerun the hamster on a wheel event. They could rerun a puzzle event. They could rerun anything at all. But it's not here. On one of the biggest patches, or at least one of the most important patches in terms of the story. So you story lovers, you have all this story that you're looking at, right? But there is no hype for anybody else to actually care enough about it. Not saying that nobody cares about the story. I'm sure the story's amazing. It's great, right? But this doesn't do justice to the game. People are going to log into the game, brand new players during 2.7 that can't even get to the 2.7 story, and this is the screen they're greeted with. What are they going to do? Well, what the hell's up with this game? There is nothing to do. There's no events. There's no nothing. On day 2 of the patch, they won't even get to experience the amazing 2.7 story that you guys love so much, you story lovers, because they're going to be put off by things like this. The fact that there really isn't any events going on in the launch of one of the biggest patches out there, right? Let's continue. So the events do come, but like not on patch day. Yes, I know, since 2.7. They are coming Saturday, and since we're in a day in the middle of the week, I wouldn't be mad about not that much content, since not everyone has the time to invest 8 hours per day into Wuwa. The game is not designed to be played all day like a competitive game, and if people can't accept that, it's honestly just a personal issue. I just want to be clear with y'all. Where did you get the mentality? Where did you get the idea that people want to play this game for 8 hours? Not only that, what are you going to do for 8 hours? Yeah, sure, you can go fight a hologram for 8 hours. You can go fight Tower for 8 hours. That's not real content. That's not real brand new content for a live service game, right? So you're saying, oh, people don't have the time to invest 8 hours. Let's be honest. If yesterday you guys beat the story and you logged in today, it would take you 5 minutes to do your dailies, claim your daily login rewards, and then hop off. That's it. Yeah, sure, you could extend that for however long you want. You can do 10 hours fighting the same tower floor, sure. But we're talking about content, like actual new content that we get to do that is rewarding us with something, right? What are you talking about 8 hours? We can't even get 5 minutes of playtime right now. Let's be real. We're not asking for 8 hours, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. We're just asking for some content, bro. At this point, it ain't even about the combat events. We talking about any sort of events, right? Let's move on over to the next one. We have a Giga Chat next. Not even bothered by the game if there is event or something, because I have a family to feed. I'm only playing if I have a free time. I understand if people only playing games every day and doing nothing with their lives. You have a reason to complain. Y'all heard it here first. If you complain, you're doing nothing with your life, chat. If you guys complain about anything in life, you're doing nothing with your life, right? You heard it here from Zaraki, the guy with a family to feed, the guy with a wife, 3 kids, 4 jobs, a dog, a cat, and a cow that he has to take care of. And he's so busy. He's so self-made that anybody else is just someone that's doing nothing with their life, right? Now, I want to go back to the first few, right, comments and just fact check some people, because a lot of people like to come on here on the internet and then yap their asses off and effectively not have any way to prove what they're saying. They don't fact check themselves. They just yap out of their ass. And I just want to know, Why do they feel the need to suck Kuro off? Like, what do they gain from it? Why do they get so triggered when someone like me or other creators drop a video with constructive criticism? It's not like our opinion is going to end Kuro. It's not like these videos are going to make Kuro, you know, go bankrupt, end of service. Like, y'all got to calm down. We have the right as paying customers to go out and express ourselves. Me, at least, is not calling out for people to attack Kuro, to dislike bomb the video, or dislike bomb, you know, their game on the app stores and such. I'm not doing none of that. All I'm saying is, listen, Kuro, what the hell is even this? You're a multi-million-dollar company and you can't give us some sort of events. People want to say, oh, well, Kuro actually did an amazing job with the story. That's where all their budget, when you're really telling me that a multi-million-dollar company that makes millions upon millions of dollars every single month could only afford to work on the story with their budget, and then they just ran out, and that's why they couldn't add more events. That's really your argument? That absolutely makes no sense, right? So as we go back to these, you know, these takes, every single patch, the first events are always some days later. That was never any different, right? There's never really any events day one of a patch, like, period, right? The Tower of Defense event were like a week after the patch, right? Events start after. This has always been the layout. So I just want to show you guys something. First off, we're going to look into some things and then we'll break it down, okay? What day did Augusta release in Wuthering Waves? Augusta was releasing Wuthering Waves on August 28th, okay? So we go here. This is August 27th. So this is the day that Augusta went live, right? Here we have my stream from that day. Y'all can go back and watch it if you think I'm like photoshopping this. We have Hunt of Ash, Sanguis Plateau, Prince of Plateau, and then, yeah, we have the Wind Rider Project, a little doo-doo event. But hey, if some of y'all want to count this as an event, right? Y'all want to say this is an event? I'm going to just say the Wind Rider Project, the Sanguis Plateau, and the Prince of Plateaus are events. There's actually something to do there. Hunt of Ash, something to do. Once again, there is actual stuff to do the day one of the patch, right? There might not be the most exciting events. There might not even be the main events, right? They might not be the actual peak events of the patch, right? But they're there. When you look at that and you look at this, what are we talking about, right? But hey, listen, that might not be enough to convince you, ladies and gentlemen. What about this? What day did Yuno release in Wuthering Waves, right? Here we have my stream from when Yuno went live, right? We have the login event, which gave us 20 pulls, which was amazing, right? The Second Coming event, the Title Defense event was live already because the Title Defense event actually went live, if I'm not wrong, 2 or 3 days after this went live, ladies and gentlemen. So this patch went live on the 27th, 28th, and if I'm not mistaken, Tower Defense was live on the 30th. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all can Google it, whatever you want. But that was only 2 days after the patch went live. Y'all could even say 3 days after the patch went live. And we had the Tower Defense. So we go back to Yuno right here, and we have Gifts of the Moon, Second Coming, Title Defense, Hunt of Ash. We had stuff to do on the second portion of the patch, right? We go back to the first portion of the patch. We had some content, right? We had some things in our event tab that we can do. But let's just say that's not enough. Let's look at another patch. Let's look at one of the patches that some people claim to be a filler patch, right? And that is the Frolova patch. What day did Frolova release in Wuthering Waves? Frolova was released in Wuthering Waves in July 24th, 2025, right? So here we have July 23rd. This was at night right before, you know, it turned to the 24th. So July 23rd, the day Frolova went live. Gifts of Grand, the same little login event that we have right here, the same exact thing. Deep Sea Survey, Dreaming Deep was there. All right, it might not have been the most filled patch, but let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. There was at least something. In 2.7, all we have is the same little login event, and that's it. There is absolutely nothing else going on in the patch. So we sit here and ask ourselves, what is the real biggest problem with Wuthering Waves right now? Sure, Kuro has been fumbling certain aspects of the game recently. Yes, some others are amazing. But the biggest problem is the community. is the fact that there are people like this that go out of their way and post things like this. There's never been events when a new patch launch. There's never really any events day one of a patch. Events start after. So you complain there's no combat events in a story-driven game, right? Every patch was dry. We had much worse in other patches in terms of the amount of content, right? This is the real problem that's going on with Wuthering Waves right now, ladies and gentlemen. I just got to be honest with y'all. And I just wanted to get that off my head, because at the end of the day, we all have a mouth. We have the freedom of speech to say things. And if you say things right, I feel that you really, really have the right to speak your mind. And I just want to say, once again, I've said this many times on streams and other videos, but I'll say it again here. When I make videos, ladies and gentlemen, and I go off calling people, right, dumb, stupid, whatever it may be, I just want to make sure you guys understand. I'm not talking to the people that rock with me. I'm not even talking about the people that don't rock with me, but are civilized, well-grounded, and logical individuals. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to the people that have self-respect and self-worth and understand that if they're spending time and money into these games they have the right to complain when they feel that they're not getting treated right, when they feel that these companies are not delivering. I'm not talking to those people. I'm not talking to these people that even if they disagree with my opinion, will sit down to have a logical argument, well-grounded, with good examples. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the people that effectively will go out attacking people like me, right? Creators that want to speak our mind, that will call us doom posters, that will call us horrible people that want to see the game die, right? People that want to actively attack the community because they care about other games. Those people that will say we're pieces of shit for speaking our mind, those are the people I'm calling stupid dumbasses, right? People that will go out and post comments like, yo, every patch releases with no events. Yo, we've had worse patches in terms of the amount of content when there is actively, Google, where you can search and see how wrong that is, right? Those are the people I'm referring to when I say stupid, dumbasses, idiots. So if you're watching this video and you're getting butthurt because you heard me call you stupid, it's because you yourself are stupid. Because if I'm watching a video and what the person is saying doesn't apply to me and he's calling a certain group of people stupid, but I'm not in that group, I don't care. He's not insulting me, right? And a lot of you want to, get offended when I call someone a dumbass, even a retard, because some people have retarded takes, let's be honest. And some of y'all want to get offended. Listen, this is one of those scenarios where if the shoe fits, well, it's for you. If it doesn't fit, it's not for you, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to get off that. Now I'm going to go back to 2.7 because I have so much content to do, guys, And here's the thing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Enjoy the rest of your day. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.